Hello there folks, my name is Spooks and I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and I didn't like it. Now while I can admit that I am a fan of the Ant-Man films, especially a bigger fan than most people of Ant-Man and the Wasp, I gotta be honest, I didn't really know what I was in for this movie. The trailers didn't really do a whole lot to impress me. It didn't look terrible by any means, but I don't know, nothing really screamed special to me from the trailers. And of course, how lackluster the past couple movies were for Marvel, even Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is not a bad movie. I really liked it, and it is certainly the best film they put out last year. I still felt was slightly disappointing nonetheless. So I had a lot of concerns for this film, and while I can say I was surprised that it didn't meet my expectations, I can safely say that I was more surprised by how much this movie went so much lower than my expectations. I really didn't like this movie. It's not horrible by any means. There are certainly positives about the film. First off, the film definitely did its job introducing Kang. Jonathan Majors did an outstanding job playing the character. He's so menacing and even at times terrifying, and I loved what they set up and what they had him do in this movie. It really gave us a sense of his power and his intensity, if you will, and I'm so looking forward to seeing Jonathan Majors playing this character throughout the rest of the MCU. Very much looking forward to that. While the special effects and green screen aren't the best, and we'll discuss that later in the video, I will say that the designs of some of the creatures the characters meet in the quantum realm were honestly pretty cool and creative and inventive. Sure, at first they can basically just be described as knockoffs or B-tier level Star Wars designs or leftovers from Guardians of the Galaxy, but even those types of designs are still fun and creative, and I even can admit there were some action scenes that I thought were really fun and entertaining and exciting. But unfortunately, that's where my positives end with this film, as, oh boy, this was a mess. First off, I felt the story was too big and too grand for an Ant-Man film. I do feel like the writers and the team were tasked with a lot more to handle than what they could accomplish. It had to be an Ant-Man sequel. It had to be the introduction to not only Kang, but also the introduction to Phase 5. We had to go to this new world and explore how and see how it operates from here on. And I felt like the film struggled to balance all that by overcomplicating things and making it bigger than it needed to be, because what I really liked about the Ant-Man films were that they were simple and they were grounded to earth. The most you would see epic in scale or awesomeness really was just the ways they would handle the technology of the suit and how big or how small they could get, really. And that's what made it so fun. They made it simple, and they were able to use that simplicity to make the most fun and exciting aspects stand out about it. Here, they just really tried to overcomplicate things, and it didn't really feel like an Ant-Man movie to me. It just felt like another Marvel movie featuring Ant-Man. I also found the characters outside of Kang to be really bland or hollow and one-dimensional. There's nothing really you get to learn more about these characters. Nothing really stands out about them. It's just another adventure with Ant-Man. I didn't really feel anything strong about his character arc or his relationship with his daughter, really, and everyone else outside of Kang and Ant-Man and even the Wasp's mom didn't really do much for a movie called Ant-Man and the Wasp. The Wasp was barely in this movie, and Michael Douglas looked like he just wanted to go home. He clearly did not want to be there. I just didn't really find anything appealing about these characters, both old and new. There are these like freedom fighters that the characters meet in the quantum realm, and they're pointless, and I didn't really care for them, and I just hated MODOK. From the look of him to how he functioned as a character, I absolutely hated him, honestly. I feel like that's going to be really divisive, and if you liked what they did with MODOK, good for you, but I just couldn't. I can also safely say that this is the least funniest Ant-Man movie. I think I literally only laughed once, and it was literally just the Spider-Man joke from the trailer. So you've already seen the funniest joke in the movie, as a lot of the comedy felt very forced and poorly timed and out of place, and mostly really awkward and just not funny. None of the jokes or comedy really landed for me, and some of them would even go on for way too long, in my opinion, just dragging out the scenes. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I just did not find this movie to be all that funny. And the last negative I can say for this movie are the special effects and the green screen. It has never looked ever more present in a Marvel movie that the VFX artists are being overworked, rushed, and having the worst deadlines imaginable, because despite this movie apparently costing $200 million, the visual effects and the green screen here look less like a Marvel movie and more on par with something like Spy Kids 3D or Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I don't want to blame the VFX artists and the staff working on this movie. They did the best they could, and I'm surprised that it was able to look as okay as it is. But the fact of the matter is that because these movies are looking worse and worse, really shows how stressful it is to work for Marvel. And I hope that with the recent changes going on, I know they just delayed the Marvels to add some more time on post-production. So hopefully that'll cause things to maybe improve for these VFX artists and staff, because this is just not acceptable in the slightest for the movie and for the working conditions nonetheless. So yeah, overall, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was pretty bad. Say what you will about Eternals, at least that was trying something new and had some interesting ideas. This was just none of that. Outside of the couple positives I've said earlier in this video, this movie was just a mess with a way too bloated story, bland, and pretty not that interesting characters. I don't want to call them unlikable. They're not hateable or anything, but they were just not interesting. The bad comedy and especially the bad visual effects, most likely due to bad working conditions, this movie just left me very disappointed. I am very worried to see where Marvel is going. If this is what is to come for this next phase, then I think it might start to be losing me, unfortunately. Excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I really do hope things change for the better. But once again, if this is any indicator, I am starting to get very worried. And those are my thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.